During your time, I know General Kelly became one of the military officers you worked with the closest.
We worked in the front office for Secretary Panetta, as General McCaffrey referenced. We traveled all around the world together, and I want to echo what Colonel Jacobs said. He is a great American. He may be one of the greatest Americans, but I think the point stands that even if we had the greatest American serving as the White House Chief of Staff, if the President doesn't empower that person, insist on order, insist on discipline, and John Kelly is a student of the chain of command and a student of discipline and order, then the President is not going to achieve his agenda, and John Kelly and nobody would be able to survive in that post. If anybody can do it, I know John can, and I've talked to a lot of his friends tonight. I talked to his former boss at the Pentagon, Secretary Panetta. We all know that he is highly capable, highly intelligent. We're praying for him. We're pulling for him. We want the President to empower him now to bring order to that very unordered place.
Well, I hope a lot of Americans see and hear what you gentlemen just said about him tonight. And those three words, chain of command, are going to come up a lot, something tells me. So, General McCaffrey, just today, the subject of your last appearance on this broadcast, North Korea, fired off another ICBM. We have some animation where the Union of Concerned Scientists has kind of straightened out the journey of this missile today. It was aloft for over 40 minutes to show us where, had it had a different trajectory, it could reach within the lower 48 of the United States. Make that 49, you make it 50, actually, including Alaska and Hawaii. So, General, as fraught a circumstance as we've seen in the modern era, certainly, what to do about this?
Well, there's only a bit of good news here. North Korea is essentially a criminal regime. They're not zealots, they're not ideological, they're not religious. So the preservation of the regime is the only thing that counts. Now, having said that, this is an unstable regime with a quirky lad who shoots his generals for not applauding loudly enough when he gives a speech. So we don't think he's got a very rational bubble of decision-making around him. I don't think there's any good news possibility. We're not going to strike North Korea to try and take out their nuclear capability. It's not going to happen. The Chinese aren't going to strangle North Korea economically. They're not negotiating away their nukes. So we have to aggressively build anti-missile defenses in South Korea, Japan, and the U.S. Navy at sea. We're in trouble over the coming 10 years with this guy.
Colonel, I love hearing analysts say we need to strike them preemptively. I want to say, show me that target list that you have in mind.
Yeah, I mean, that's not going to happen. I think if one assumes that this is a continuing criminal enterprise, one way to deal with them is to get, we're going to have to get together with China and go to North Korea and guarantee this continuing criminal enterprise's existence. Otherwise, they will continue to develop the capability to strike the United States. I mean, we're not going to scorch their earth. There are 30 million South Koreans within artillery striking distance. You got to make a deal with them. I think we've kicked the can down the road so long, this is the only route. And
Jeremy Bash, you have the lightning round last word. Our worry, we talked about earlier this week, that perhaps a crisis would be the kind of test of this administration no one was hoping to see.
Yeah, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs had to correct the directive given by the President on that transgender policy issue, not on the substance of the policy, but on the manner in which it was given. When the President communicates to our military an order, it should flow through the chain of command through the Secretary of Defense with the advice of the chairman. That was not done this week, and in a real crisis, that could cost American security and American lives.
General Barry McCaffrey, Colonel Jack Jacobs, Jeremy Bash, gentlemen, thank you all for your time on a Friday night.